I am Morgan Ciocca with Vocalo Radio. We are currently at Lollapalooza, and I am sitting here with Tobi Lou, who performed earlier today.
How do you do?
It's so nice to talk with you. The last time we spoke with you was pre-pandemic, so a lot has happened since then.
It's a whole different person and world right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But how do you feel to be back performing live?
I felt amazing. I know not every show is gonna be like this. Like, this is a very hometown show. It felt like a home game, and just my first game back, like as if I was injured or something. But this was the most amazing thing ever. Like, I couldn't have. It's the energy you kind of dream of, when you're trying to perform and thinking about performing. Whenever it's a festival, no matter where it's at, I think it's always just scary because if they don't know you, they're not going to be rocking with you. But the crowd was just, from song one to the last one, they were there. They were so there. I had to step up my game a little bit, and I just wasn't expecting it. And I'm just thankful, really thankful.
I caught part of your set. It was so cool seeing everyone's hands up. Everyone was so excited throughout the whole set.
Yeah.
It was an amazing energy.
Yeah, I was really amazed at how the energy stayed that way for that whole 45 to an hour that we were up there. Like, usually there's big dips, but there wasn't really any noticeable dip. Like, even I did some new songs, and when they don't know a new song, it's like they have to watch more than sing along, and so it changes it. But yeah, they got up for that too, so it was pretty amazing.
It's really exciting. Do you have any more live shows that you're planning on doing in the future?
Not this year. I really hadn't planned on being outside or back in the world this year, but Lala signed on to do at the end of 2019, and of course 2020 happened, and I didn't really know what the whole festival game was going to look like this year, and I didn't really think it was going to happen. But when they said they were doing it, I was like, okay, I guess I'm coming back into the world, because I had been radio silent for a while. But this was a great way to come back, and now I can go back home and like finish off the music and the things I've been working on, and it just gives me motivation to come back and really go harder. I'm just like, wow, like, if this is a taste of what it's like when people know you a little bit, like, I want to do this more, and I want to be back here, and whenever I can, and just going crazy in Chicago.
Yeah, it's really an amazing comeback, I bet. But yeah, you mentioned you were coming out of retirement during your set.
Yeah.
But what does that look like for you?
Retirement. I feel like I'm always joking about retirement, because all fans do is ask for music. I love them, but all they do is ask for music. So I just tell them I'm retired, and whenever they get that new music, because when I drop a lot. So whenever I decide like it's time to go again, that's me coming back out of retirement. And this was like a post or a pre coming out of retirement party, it felt like. And this just lets me know, like, yo, like, let's go. It just gets me excited to really do it again. So yeah.
There's a place to come back to.
Yeah.
And I also saw that Buff Baby went gold just about a year ago, a little over a year ago. But how do you feel about that? Does it feel like it was that long ago?
It feels like a whole world ago, just because we're in such a different place. So
yeah.
It actually does feel long ago. But still, if I look back and reflect on the actual achievement, it's like, I think it's pretty wild for someone in my shoes and like my position and where I am on the radar to have like a record like that. That went special to me, not because it went viral and it went gold, was because like I produced a majority of that record with my friend Juice Banger. So it's like I work with a lot of talented producers, and I'm lucky to have them because I'm able to focus on the recording and the vocals and the writing more, and the arrangement aspect of it. But that was one, like, I just started, writing my computer, just opened up a session, was like, all right, let's do these chords, and let's do this percussion, and then he did the drums. So it's just special when I look at that plaque and knowing that, like, a weird idea that I thought would be too weird for the world, like, not only worked, it really just went far and resonated, and it makes people happy. Like, when it comes on, I'm seeing people go hard to it. I'm like, they really love this shit. it makes me feel good.
Yeah, people seriously do really, really love it. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about just your experience as an artist in Chicago, and you grew up in the south suburbs, right?
Yeah.
What was your experience growing up in the south suburbs? Do you feel like you fit in very much, or when do you feel like you really found your people?
I feel like growing up in the south suburbs, like I always had good people I was around, good friends. Like growing up, I was always very outgoing, so I never really had a problem with that. I think I found my stride, and I found my best friends when I got to junior high, and they're my friends that I'm still friends with to this day. So that might be where I find more of my stride. But growing up in the south suburbs was like, it's a big melting pot. Especially the Homewood Flossmoor area, it was white, it was black, it was Asian, it was Hispanic. There was everyone there. So it was just like, it felt like such a good way to like know people instead of just being all in one, particular, around just one, type of person. I'm thankful because it just taught me a lot about other people, and when I went out into the real world, I had, it wasn't, being around people didn't make me nervous because, I grew up around people. So I think it's nice to be able to have that, to be able to grow up in a diverse place, and I guess I'm thankful for that aspect of it. Coming down to the city was always an adventure. It just always felt so big and just like, okay, like so much to do, so much going on, and I feel like I didn't really get to enjoy it until like my post high school. Like then I would like, all right, you come back from college, you're trying to go downtown, like really, you finally can like get into places, and whether you're sneaking in or whatever. I don't advise sneaking in, kids, wink wink, but yeah, I think overall, like I went through different layers of like falling in love with Chicago. Like I've always loved it, even being outside of Chicago in the south suburbs, but like I got to know different levels of Chicago as I got older, and I was like, man, like it's such a beautiful place, a beautiful city, and the people are beautiful. We got the best food, and like I said, I'm always thankful to be from here, and I always rep it whenever I can.
And what is your favorite thing about being a musician in Chicago, if you could narrow it down?
If I can narrow it down, being a musician in Chicago, I guess like just I threw out the first pitch of the Cubs game the other day. Like it's not something that's like particular to being a musician, but like it's I guess my music has brought me to a place where I could do things like that, entertaining people. Like I've done not festivals. I've done like color runs like years ago where I was in a field of people, and it's just like no one knows you, and no one's really there for you. So to go from there to be going to now to be within the field of people at Lollapalooza. It's my first Lollapalooza too. I have a bunch of vintage Lollapalooza shirts, but I've never been to a Lollapalooza. It just feels, I'm starting to see the perks. I'll give you more as we update and we talk more in the future.
Yes, of course.
I'll definitely let you know as they come along.
And where's your favorite place to eat in the city? You mentioned that you love all the great food in Chicago.
Hands down, Giordano's. Like, I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about this interview, but the other half of me is thinking about I'm really gonna fuck up some Giordano's when I get back. Sorry if I curse. I'm really gonna destroy some Giordano's when I get back to the hotel.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so that's my favorite place, and when I flew in on Wednesday, I didn't eat anything in the morning. I landed, we went straight to Giordano's. I had 4 slices, went to the Cubs game, threw out the first pitch, enjoyed the Cubs game, came back home and had another slice, and that was it.
That sounds like a very like quintessential Chicago day.
Yeah, nothing but deep dish.
And I also wanted to ask you about your collaboration with Fenty recently. That was so cool. How'd you feel about that? Like, what was your experience?
It feels really cool to be able to work with Fenty, not only because it's associated with the queen that Rihanna is, but like I've dropped Fenty in songs before, and it's been like from dropping Fenty in the songs to actually working with the Fenty brand and like they were a part of my comeback too, which is like they gave me a reason to like come back onto online and socials and you know, even debut a new song, and it's just really cool. It's like something like, you know, this type of stuff you dream about, like being able to do. It's like working with brands on this particular level, and you know, everyone respects Rihanna and what she's done, and what she's been able to do outside of music is so extraordinary, and it's so inspirational. And I just hope to continue to do great things with them in the future, and I'm just thankful they gave me the chance to like kind of lead the way with my team, with Glassface and Martin and Goodnight Mish, and just kind of like they let us like they gave us what they wanted us to do, but they said, hey, like, yeah, we know y'all can handle it because this is what y'all do. So we knocked it out like we always do, and from being able to debut even a new look, you know, I shaved my head, you know, the buns are gone, so it's like it was a really cool thing to do that. So I'm always going to be thankful for that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because I feel like your hair was a pretty like big part of your online brand and like presence.
That's why it was so scary to cut it, because I was just like, people only know me as like Tobi Lou with the buns, like. But then again, I thought like, well, like, okay, they know me as that. All my favorite artists have eras, you know, and with me being silent and coming back, I wanted to let people know, like, you know, if I'm coming back, it's still me, but we're in a different era. You know, they're gonna get the same dedication, the same great music, but like, I'm coming back and I'm going harder, and like, hey, this is what we're doing now, and you know, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry, because hey, I don't really care. But hey, so yeah,
you're still you underneath the hair.
Everyone who knows me, it's like it's still me. So
yeah,
we're just gonna be doing some different things, and I'm excited about that.
A new look marking a new era. But is there anything specific coming up on the horizon that listeners should know about?
Yeah, Parish Blue is a project I'm working on, and I'm gonna have some really fun and amazing things coming out centered around that. I've been focused on that project, but I've been making so much music that it's time to like give back and get back going. So really on the horizon is a bunch of music, and I think people have been asking for that for a while, and I'm just excited to like kind of flood the gates again, like I do.
That's exciting. But yeah, well, what has been your favorite part of Lollapalooza so far?
Favorite part of Lolla, it's definitely going to be that show. And this, the media has been actually a cool experience, because I've done media at other events. Or festivals. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I guess it's also the fact that like people just don't know you that much at a certain point. So like people are interviewing you, and like they don't really have the most amazing questions sometimes, and don't really feel like they're leading you in a direction where you could like flourish. But I'm not going to really blame them. I think just with more hard work and being known a little bit more, that's what comes. You know, you get to start having better conversations and interviews that kind of feel like, okay, this person actually maybe kind of knows me and stuff like that. So I appreciate that aspect of the media right now. So
yeah, well, that's good to hear. And I wanted to ask you also, do you have any words to live by that you think about?
Words to live by. Whatever you're doing, you have to figure out a way to have fun with it. Even if you love it, but you're not having fun with it right now, you're gonna have to turn it into fun. So I live and breathe what I'm doing, and it's stressful. I do so many things, but I'm trying to figure out ways to turn back the fun on. And even in performing stresses me out because I don't work on it. I kind of just go up there with what I naturally got, but I'm starting to have fun with it, and I think like me working on the fun aspect of what I'm trying to do is going to help whatever I'm doing, and it's going to bleed through, and I think everyone's going to feel it. So whatever you're trying to do, figure out how to have fun with it, so that you could really live and live through it and make other people happy and make yourself happy.
I completely agree. And for the record, you did seem like you were having a lot of fun today during the performance.
No, it was fun. The crowd, the energy, people's faces, they were going so crazy. I was just like, God, like, thank you. I was just thankful. And like, yeah, I was able to have fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It's been really great to catch up with you.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what you're up to coming up in the future.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for having me.